Somehow I lost the intro for today's video. So just so you know, today we're going to talk about why you think your house isn't selling and then why you're wrong. And we're going to get started right. What's up and welcome back to All Things Tennessee with me, Ben Barredo, your local real estate pro and relocation expert for East Tennessee. As the market begins to slow down, we're all seeing that houses are sitting a little longer and then a little longer, and many more houses than before are leaving the market unsold. I want to help you understand why your home isn't selling or these other homes aren't selling, and then I want to make sure you understand why your understanding of why it's not selling is more than likely wrong. So one of the reasons people think houses aren't selling is curb appeal. Listen, curb appeal is important. Obviously, buyers pull up, they immediately pass judgment on a house, and curb appeal can impact how much money you get for the house, for sure. However, curb appeal won't stop a buyer from making an offer. It might impact, again, the number of the offer, but bad curb appeal isn't enough to cause your house to sell. The next thing that people think are causing their homes not to sell are bad photos. Now, yes, bad photos impact buyers' first impression. You want professional photos. They're definitely important and help get buyers in the front door. You want buyers to fall in love with the house first online and then schedule the showing and fall in love with the house when they're there. Bad photos are not the reason your home's not selling. Another thing that homeowners think may be impacting why their home isn't selling is staging. Now, staging is an important factor in selling a home. And when I say staging, I don't mean bringing in new furniture or hiring some professional to stage your home with, showroom floor furniture and fine art pieces. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about using the furniture that's in place now and maybe moving it around and staging it in a way that helps amplify the space and the attractiveness of the rooms and the house itself. Still, though staging will impact the purchase price of a home, staging is not going to cause a home to not sell. I've sold a lot of houses that were empty and a lot of houses that were not very attractive when you walked in the front door. So at the end of the day, staging is not the reason your home's not selling. Some sellers think that one of the reasons their home isn't selling is lack of marketing. Maybe the agent that they hired isn't doing enough to market their house. Maybe they need to send more flyers. Maybe they need to do more open houses. Maybe they need to do more social media ads. Now, yes, these things do help with getting your house out there, so that's not the reason your house isn't selling. If it can be found on Zillow, if it can be found on Realtor.com, if someone can search within the price range for a home that matches your layout, your number of bedrooms, square footage, etc., then the marketing isn't the issue. And then some sellers think bad location may be leading to why their home hasn't sold yet. Now, location can impact certain buyers on your house. If there's nuisances in the area, some buyers may not like that. Some buyers want to be in the country, some don't want to be in the city. But at the end of the day, your house is in a location where someone is good to go with where it's sitting. So location isn't what's keeping your house from selling. Some sellers want accompanied showings with their listing and think the house would sell faster if the listing agent was there to help sell the house while the buyer's agent's taking their clients through it. Let me tell you, that's not only not the reason your house isn't selling. If you were to do that, it would probably keep your house from selling. There's nothing more awkward and uncomfortable than having a listing agent following buyers and their agent around a house. It's just awkward and it makes people feel uncomfortable and not like they can actually look at the house. They're just wanting to get in and out as quick as possible to get out of that situation. The only thing that I could imagine being more awkward than that is having the actual sellers there with the buyers and the buyer's agent trying to sell the house. Now, some sellers are going to think that their house isn't updated enough and that's the reason it's not selling. Again, this goes back to a few things I've said already. Updates on a house will impact the number you could get for that house. It will impact what buyers are willing to offer, but it's not going to stop buyers that are motivated and ready to buy from making an offer on your house. So houses that aren't updated is not why your house isn't selling. And finally, one of the biggest reasons most sellers think their house isn't selling or hasn't sold is because they hired a bad real estate agent. Now, I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of bad real estate agents out there. The bar to get a real estate license is not very high. It's not hard to do. And just about anyone that can pass a background check can get a real estate license. But having a bad real estate agent is not the reason your house isn't selling. As long as that agent knows how to fill out a form and input your home into the MLS, then buyers are finding it, or they should be. And as long as the offers can be transferred from the agent to you, then it's not the agent's fault that your house isn't selling. It may be the agent's fault that other things could be happening, but that's a whole nother story. We won't get into that right now. So the reason your house isn't selling, and I want you to hear me out before you get mad or before you click off this video, because I know you already know what I'm going to say. The reason your house is not selling is because it's overpriced. You see, a lot of sellers have an inflated opinion of what their home is worth. And it's because there's a lot of emotional attachment to that house, and there's a lot of sweat equity and memories in that house that make it more valuable to them, and they feel like it should be more valuable to everyone else. But at the end of the day, a house is only worth what a buyer is willing to pay for it. And if your house isn't selling, then the buyers in that market obviously don't think it's worth what you're trying to sell it for. Here, let me give you a scenario. If you were to list your house with me and we were to put it on the market for $1,000, do you think we would have a problem selling that house? Now, that's an extreme case, but you and I both know that if there was any house on the market, it could be the biggest dump in the world. It could be falling apart down to the foundation. But if it was $1,000, we would sell that thing within an hour of it hitting the market. So pricing is everything. And you more than likely have your house overpriced. Even if it's just by $25,000 or something, it's going to be hard to sell your house. Now I want to tell you what the pitfalls are of having an overpriced home to help you understand why your house isn't actually selling. So when you have a home that is overpriced or priced really high, then the expectations for that house are going to be high as well. If someone's going to spend, let's say for example, a house that's really worth $300,000 but it's listed for $450,000, those buyers are going to have certain expectations. And when every house that's listed at $450,000 is bigger than yours, more updated than yours, and better locations than yours, they're not going to they're not going to come and be sold on your house. Additionally, in addition to the higher expectations, when your house doesn't meet those expectations, and even if it's close to meeting those expectations, but it's still not in the buyer's eyes worth what you're asking for it, the buyers expect there to be wiggle room, not just in the price, but in negotiating inspections, negotiating closing costs. And they're going to try to eat away at that money until you're selling the house for more than likely what you should have listed it for in the first place. The other issue with having your house overpriced, and I kind of hinted this already, is that when you're overpriced, all you're doing is helping all the other houses in your area sell. Again, when people come across your house at $450,000 and all the other houses around there that are $400,000 to $450,000 are nicer in every way almost, then they're just going to go buy that house. Why would they pay $450,000 for yours when they can have a nicer home at the same price? Another pitfall of having your house overpriced has to do with how buyers search for homes. So buyers search for homes in increments of $25,000 or $50,000, and depending on how high the price range is, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But they're nice round numbers. And if your house is overpriced, let's go with the $450,000, and more than likely buyers are only searching $400,000 to $450,000 or $425,000 to $475,000 or $450,000 to $500,000. And in that scenario, you aren't being found in the groupings with other houses that are more similar to yours, priced in the $300,000 range. You're up there with houses that you're competing against much nicer homes in that bracket, and you're always going to lose. You're not going to be the winner when every other house in that price range is nicer than yours or bigger than yours. And the last downfall of having your house overpriced is buyers just think you're unreasonable. Buyers see that your house is sitting there unsold, and they're asking themselves why. Either there's something wrong with the house and the seller's unreasonable and not willing to fix it, or the seller's unreasonable about the price and they're not willing to negotiate. And all that's going to do is cause the buyers to, again, go to the house down the street and purchase it. What else can happen? If you were lucky enough to get your house under contract, it's more than likely not going to appraise. So not only if you were able to get that far are you going to lose money in order more than likely to get it under contract, you're going to lose even more money when the appraisal comes back saying that it's only worth $300,000. I recently have a house that's under contract. We went to market just $40,000 over the price that I recommended. It took 40 days to get an offer, and guess what? We're $2,000 under contract below where I said we should have been when we went to market. Listen, if you are thinking of selling and you need some help, give me a call. Whether you're in Knoxville, whether you're in Tennessee, well, no matter where you are in the country, I can help you find a reputable agent to sit down and talk to you, or I can sit down and talk to you about where your house should be when you want to sell it. Other than that, that's it for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you're not mad at me. I know you probably knew I was going to get to the house being overpriced, but listen, that's just the facts. That's just the truth of it. Take my word of advice, take it seriously, make some changes, and get your home sold. Thanks so much for stopping by. If I can do anything for you, give me a shout. Until next time, have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you soon. Bye.